is actually the name of the train. And the train goes from North India, Kolkata, to South India, Chennai. And I mean, we study in Chennai, and they spend a long time in Kolkata. So it just kind of makes sense that we link together, and the train. So it just that's the name.
I took Coromandel Express several times.
You have?
Yes. Maybe.
How was the service?
4 or 5 times. It's super fast, very fast.
They don't lie. I mean, when you travel in India, the rail system is such an integral part of how you get around, and everybody's India experience has to involve a train somewhere. So we thought it was a cool image.
They study South Indian music and we study North Indian music. So we have like something to share. We have like similar idea, and because we play just as a musician who play Western music, sometimes we really have to change or adjust for themselves, like for music they play. But we have like more limits. And also they have some Western music idea. We can learn more. But based on Indian music, but we can add more Western feeling or some other music.
Yeah, it's nice. We arranged most of our music in rehearsals, and the communication is sometimes very interesting because the terms in the south and the north are very different. So we would be talking about the same raga, the scale, but we have very different names, and we just play, that's that one. But then every time we're thinking about like a rhythmic idea for the ending, I mean, it's quite easy for us to just sort of calculate, and then we understand each other. And if we do that with just a Western musician, it is very hard for them to realize or to catch it very fast. But for us, it's really fast. Like Waka and Cody, they often we would need an ending, so they would think about some kind of rhythmic reduction, some kind of rhythmic compositions, and because we share the Indian common ground, we can really understand each other just by saying takadimi and counting.
It's very mathematical, but we use same language.
And that doesn't really happen when we play with anyone else.
But it's also different for Page and I because we're Western musicians first. I mean, I would consider Yo and Waka to be true Indian musicians, and whereas we're coming at Indian music from a Western training background. So when we collaborate with Waka and Yo and Coromandel, sometimes we have to adjust our way of listening or our way of arranging and try to accommodate the things that they're used to, and also inject a little bit of what we're used to from our Western ears. And I think it makes the group stronger, and it definitely makes us stronger musicians. Mm-hmm. It's always good to look at something from as many angles as you can,
Learn a lot.
You always learn a lot, and that's one of the things that I enjoy most about this group, is the learning aspect of it.
More improvisation.
The specialty of Indian music is improvising. So, we improvise a lot. But of course, there are some kind of highlight, or
structure. Let's say.
Yes.
We built a structure together, but then we felt different things every time we play.
So as long as we are following the structure, we can be free.
Yeah.
So, but we have to follow the structure. So.
It's maybe we structure our tunes a little bit like a jazz piece, where we have a melody or a head that we're all going to play together, and we sort of know how many times that's going to happen. Sometimes.
Or we just communicate.
Or we just feel it on stage.
I think we feel it a lot.
But usually then we'll also have structured these solo portions where it's sort of like the free jazz movement. We don't have harmonic changes to follow like you would in a standard jazz piece, but we have the raga to guide them. They have the raga to guide them, and Waka and I have our rhythmic vocabulary that we've studied to guide us, and we're free to do whatever we want within that. And then we sort of know we have certain cues to pass it along to the next performer, or we just purely communicate that kind of thing on stage.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are not Indian, but we play Indian music, and some people mentioned Indian music should be played by Indian people, or why foreigners playing Indian music, this is something different or something strange. Some people mention like that, but as I mentioned, nowadays Indian music are getting more and more well known in the world, and there are many foreign people studying Indian music and playing Indian music. So the process is very similar, like Western classical music or jazz, for example, because Western classical music is coming from Europe, but nowadays many Taiwanese people or Japanese people or Chinese people, Korean people, or
like me.
Yes.
No one think I'm weird. It's
not weird
flute.
now,
And
the jazz is coming from black people, but nowadays every country they play jazz.
Yeah.
So I believe, as I mentioned, Indian music can be more how can
universal.
I say universal?
Yes, that we are making our own sound, and that's very important for every musician.
Yeah.
You should take what you learn, and then you should make it your own. And what we come together and we want to have our own sound and our own music. So eventually, right now we take a lot of traditional ideas to make our music, and eventually we want it to be our compositions and our arrangements. Big character of our group is we've got a percussionist, kanjira, we got tabla. It's a lot of drums, and it's we don't really play harmony, and we're playing two melodic instruments. So when you come into really, I think drums is just the beat, the rhythm is just such a I think everyone can connect to it. Everyone can, and I think that's a really big character of our group, where it's really strong character on the rhythm, and then you have very intricate melodies floating on the top. And I think for the audience, they can expect it can be really groovy and really sort of hopefully really get inside what they can really hear, not just to hear someone. I should say this is very different from pop music or rock or other music right now. So.